Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. So, we have had a very, very interesting day just unfold. And it's definitely still Australia and Australia and Australia. It's advantage Australia. They are 196 runs ahead of England with 3 wickets remaining. It could have been a lot worse for England. It really could have been. Australia at one point were 116 for one. Labuschagne and Warner made a fantastic partnership, and their partnership average is 95, and they've batted together 11 times. So clearly, like batting together, they both were two of the standouts, but the biggest standout was Travis Head, who's sitting, and we'll touch upon him in a second. But obviously, starting the day, Australia were going into it fresh, at no wicket, no runs, hadn't faced the ball yet. England, of course, would come out and try to get early wickets. They did manage to get an early wicket. They got Marcus Harris. Robinson got him with a pretty good ball. Harris will be disappointed, just not quite defensively good enough there and just nicking behind for only three. But then, as I said, it was Warner and Labuschagne, and they went to work. And if we look at the partnership here, you can see the partnership of 156 between Harris and Labuschagne. And sorry, I think I said 161. It's 166 for one, which is, yeah, as you can see, they end up on 3 for 7. It could have been a lot worse if those guys had gone on to both get tons or one of them get a big ton or a daddy 100. Anyways, Warner was a bit fortunate, so Stokes bowled him. I think when he was in the single digits, actually, so very early on in his innings, and it was a no ball. It was actually a pretty darn good delivery as well. To be fair, it was a pretty damn good delivery. It was just like stumps everywhere, and it was a pretty muted celebration, probably because they were getting hit around a little bit. As a very interesting stat as well, and I'm not quite sure why the third umpire is not checking every single ball. 14 out of the 31 balls bowled by Ben Stokes in the first session should have been called a no ball, but only 2 were called. Now, I know also the 3 or 4 deliveries before he actually got Warner out, they were all no balls as well. I'm not saying in the sense that they should have called it because then he wouldn't have bowled that no ball to Warner, because most likely he may not have even bowled that ball to Warner because he would have been more worried about checking where his front foot was. But just in general, like, it's very, very, very basic. They should be making sure that every ball is checked, and if it's a no ball, it should be called a no ball. People like bowlers shouldn't be able to get away with it when we've got the technology there, anyways. Firstly, and second of all, then it does disrupt the rhythm of the game by then calling a no ball, and the bowler thinks, hold on, I've been putting my front foot exactly the same place I have been for the last 4 deliveries. What's changed? And then he'll look back and say, oh, actually, I was bowling a no ball, but I wasn't called. So I think either way, it should happen. So it was a very, very bizarre one. And then obviously Warner cashed in. He was dropped on 48, and this was an absolute dolly. I mean, Robinson got the ball to shape away from Warner. It was a good delivery, shape like angling away, shaping away. Warner nicked off, and it was a waist high, like, dolly of a catch for Rory Burns, and he dropped it. Robinson almost, you could see on the edge of just going ballistic, but kind of just let it go. And yeah, it was not good from Burns. But that happens. You can drop catches. I think the issue is that they need to take every chance they got and be very clinical, and they didn't. England, I think that was the biggest, the big issues they had. Labuschagne was very, very good. I thought he looked phenomenal. 74 off 117. He didn't give them a single chance until Leach got him out. Who will touch upon Leach in a second. He got absolutely destroyed in this innings. Yes, he picked up the wicket of Labuschagne, which is a vital one, but really it wasn't a case of Leach getting Labuschagne out. It was more Labuschagne getting himself out. He cut a shorter delivery from Leach straight to the man at point. Straight to the man at point. Yeah, mistiming it completely, the cut shot, which, to be fair, he had utilised really well throughout the day. He'd attacked Leach really well, a couple of sixes off him as well, and just in general looked very, very composed at the crease. He is a real talent, is Marnus Labuschagne. He is a quality operator. David Warner looked good when he wasn't being a little bit scratchy, as I said. A bit fortunate with the Ben Stokes no ball and the drop on 48, I think it was. pushing out a few deliveries, maybe playing at balls that he didn't need to, or playing a bit too attackingly when he didn't need to. But overall, it was a very good knock. I mean, he got 100, so it's hard to say he didn't bat well. He did bat well. There were some fantastic shots in there to boot as well, and Australia made it look like a pitch. Well, it looked like a completely different pitch to yesterday. Yes, the sun was beating down, so that would have helped. It dried out a little bit, so it did become a bit, more flat per se for the batsman, and seemed a better batting pitch. But let's be honest, I think they just apply themselves a lot better as well than England. In terms of Smith, I mean, Smith got out in a very strange way. And it was just a regulation way. You don't expect him to get out like that. But that happens even to the best of us. Wood bowling 147 clicks. So that's over 90 miles an hour. So that's pretty damn quick by Mark Wood. And Smith just getting across outside off stump and then nicking off the back foot. Interesting, just a little prod there. He'll look at that, and I'm sure he won't make a similar mistake, you would imagine, throughout the series. I'll talk about Travis Head in a second. But obviously, at one point, to be fair to England, they brought it back really nicely to this point here. At 236, right, for 6. That was a pretty decent comeback, considering if you look, so 70 runs for 5 wickets. That's pretty good going from England, a good recovery. But then Travis Head just did not let them settle, and he took the game away from them, which is why we then see the 3-4-3 for 7. And you can see, look at that knock. 112 runs of 95 balls. So his strike rate isn't, I mean, if someone had a strike rate of 117 in ODI, that's really good for someone who's, batted as long as Travis Head has. It's a fantastic ODI knock, and he was just seeing the ball like an absolute balloon. It was just incredible to watch. You can see there 2 sixes, 2 sixes, 12 fours. Warner, sorry, I forgot to mention, hit Leach for 2 sixes as well, and himself and Labuschagne, I think they dispatched him for like 14 in one of the overs. Head just carried on from where those two left off. He attacked Head, he attacked Root when he came on. He looked really good. I mean, it was just easy work for Travis Head. And yes, there was a lot of talk about Usman Khawaja. Should he be playing instead of him? I'm personally a little bit of the opinion that Khawaja should open. I know he hasn't recently done it for Queensland, but he's done it for so many years, and for Australia as well in the past. Marcus Harris is struggling. I would just bring him in as a placeholder, and Pukovski, whenever he's fit, then you can bring him back in. But either way, Travis Head definitely justified his position at number 5. A fantastic knock, and that will buy him some time for sure, because he was definitely under pressure, under the cosh. And 112 off 95, he's still not out as well. That real red inker, he'll come out tomorrow, and he'll come out and just play as he has been, attackingly, try and get Australia as close to the 400 as they possibly can get, and then go from there. Cameron Green, a very strange one, completely misjudging a delivery from Robinson. It was pretty wide, and then it just swung, and then pitched and seamed in as well. It just kept on coming in, and he left it, and his off peg was just gone. It was a good delivery from Robinson, but went for a golden duck. So a day to forget for Cameron Green, I'd like to see more of. I know he's a good bat from what we have witnessed in Shield cricket. Hopefully we get to see him have some time with the crease. He needs to make sure he doesn't do that. Alex Carey looked okay whilst he was in. A bit of a loose way to get out, pulling straight to mid-wicket, just miscuing it. Cummins as well, a bit of a soft way route. Got him round the wicket, and Cummins just literally tucking it round the corner to leg slip very gently. And Stark was 10 not out at the end. So you can see there 3-4-3 for 7. We'll quickly have a quick look at the bowlers. Woakes was good, I thought. 1 wicket, you can see they're quite miserly as well. Robinson, the pick of the bowlers, and that's no surprise, because honestly, I think a lot of people said he would be the key. He'd need to perform well. He's got the height. He can utilize the bounce. He can get the ball to seam. He can get the ball to swing a little bit as well. He is really their type of Josh Hazlewood, I feel, but he's definitely not at that level yet, but he is a talented bowler nonetheless. So 3 wickets, and you can see they're pretty miserly as well. Mark Wood was good in spurts, which is good. They need to be careful with him, though. Bowling him bowling 20 overs out of Mark Wood, is that really utilising him to the best of their ability? I think the issue would have been they would have hoped that Leach, they could have got more overs out of Leach just to tie down an end. And they didn't manage to. That was a problem because if they could have, then Wood could have then bowled him short burst, but he got smashed everywhere, Leach, and that was the issue. Stokes was okay, but a little bit expensive. You can see, I mean, 9 for 50. If he picks up that wicket, Warner could have had very different figures, you would imagine. And Leach, I mean, wow, nearly gone for 100 off only 11 overs. So economy of 8.64 on that wicket, I tell you what, means absolutely nothing. I know, of course, he got the wicket of Labuschagne, but as I said, got himself out, and he will look at that and just think, wow. Rue will also look at Leach's figures and think, we've got an issue here. And same for himself. I mean, he was a little bit expensive as well when he did come on, bowled 6 overs, better than Jack Leach, but, not ideal whatsoever. Picked up a wicket himself as well, the captain. England have a lot to do in day 3, no doubt. So we will see how they get on. Can they restrict? Can they pick up the last 3 wickets very quickly? They will be hoping to, because if Australia get to beyond the 400 mark, it will be the victory will be even more unlikely than it's already looking right now, and even a draw. Australia will be very happy with their performance, and they will continue to march forward. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really do appreciate it. And of course, click the notification bell as well to get alerts to all the new videos. We do have a Discord. It's in the description of this video. And of course, we are on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. Do check out our links. And of course, on Patreon if you want to help out. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. And I'll see you on the next